Okay, so next step, let's summarize real quick what we've done and where we're going. Okay, so we've done the white face so far. This is the first layer. This is pretty cool because you can consider that 1/3 of the cube has been successfully put into its proper position. We're building from the bottom up, so we're going to build on top of this. The next step is going to be each of the side edges, and there's 4 of them. So basically what we do, we had the white on top previously. We're gonna turn it upside down just to make things a little bit easier on ourselves. So white face up, whoop. All right, now white face is down here. And we have the yellow face up. What we want to do is solve the 4 edges. There's the green and orange edge here. There's the orange, let me get closer here. The orange and the blue, that's the edge here. The blue and the red edge here. And the red and the green edge here. So there's 4 edges total. And we want to basically move the 4 edge pieces into their proper position. And we'll do that one at a time here. So let's start off with the orange and green, since it's already up top here. So you always want to start with the ones on top because those are easier to stick into the right positions. So what's going to occur is I've identified the edge piece that I want to move, which is the green and orange. Recall that edge pieces only have 2 colors, so they're a little bit easier than corner pieces since they only have 2 colors instead of 3. So anyhow, we want to move this green orange edge right here into this position, the green orange edge position. So right now you can see the green red edge is in there. So we're gonna swap that guy out with this guy, right? We're gonna move him down in here. And the way that we're gonna do that is we have to line up this guy just right based on the beginner's method to stick it into its proper position. And to do that, it needs to be opposite of what you're aiming for. So we're aiming for this corner over here. This is the orange-green corner, remember? And opposite of the orange-green corner, orange, I guess orange, if we go opposite, we go kind of this way, you can see, right? This is our orange-green edge. Hopefully you can see that. So this is the top here, is our yellow's on top. Let me face you a little bit, this might help. So basically we're aiming for over here, and we put our piece over here because it's opposite of what we're aiming for, if that makes sense. So we want the orange face to be over here, and then we want the orange piece to be up. Since up is now the yellow face, we want orange to be up because we're aiming for over here. So you can think maybe up and opposite. So we have, as a review, we have the green face over here, the green side, and we're aiming for this piece right here, the orange face, the orange-green face edge. Okay, so you stick it over here opposite, and then we gotta make room for it. So basically what we'll do is we'll stick the edge piece over here by swapping it out with with this piece here. So you'll see what I mean. So let me just do it real quick. And it's kind of one of those things where if I go too slow, I'm probably gonna mess myself up thinking about it too hard, since I have an intuitive sense of how the cube moves. So if you look up each of those sequences that I did, it's basically the same exact sequence to solve any of these pieces. There's 2 moves to do. Either the edge piece that you want to move is to the right of where you want to go, which is what we just did here. The orange and green piece was to the right, so we basically move this piece up here to the left, which is the opposite side, and then just moved it into its proper position. Another move or sequence to do in this second layer solving is to move it to the left. So I think I skipped a step actually when I was describing that last edge piece. I went a little bit too fast. So the first step to solve the edge piece is to line up the face with the side. I'm sorry, I skipped this step. So let me just go real slow on this piece because I went pretty fast with this green and orange piece. We'll go a little bit slower with the red and blue edge piece here. Okay, so we have the red and blue edge piece, and we want to put it right here because this is the red and blue, that's where it belongs, that's its home, right in between the red and the blue. So the first step is to move the edge piece right above where it matches up. The face red matches the face red. Now the second step, this is what I was saying as far as opposite, moving it away from where you want to go. So its home, remember, is right here. The red-blue piece wants to go on the red-blue edge right here. So opposite of to the left here, this is to the left, is to the right. We want to move this piece here opposite of where we want to go. So let me move this back here and just play that back again real quick. Okay, so we want to move this piece opposite of where it wants to go eventually, right? Move it over there. The next step is to make room for it right here. So we have to just stick it in there. And again, the sequence of moves doesn't really matter so much from a sense of R prime, U prime, this prime, that, whatever. What you want to do is understand intuitively how the edge piece just moved. And that basic fundamental understanding is only acquired through really slowly learning, turn by turn, how the cube works. The way that I try to memorize it, I'm going to try to go slower on this next edge, but we've solved two so far. Let me back up real quick before we move forward. We just solved the red and blue edge piece. We also solved the orange and the green edge piece. So that's half of the first two layers. Recall we have four pieces. We have four pieces to solve in total. So we still need to solve the blue-orange piece, which we'll do next. And we also still need to resolve the red and green edge piece. So remember, if we want to solve the blue and orange edge piece, we'll first line up the blue and orange edge so that the faces match here. You see the blue matches the blue. So if it didn't, if it is off somewhere, then just line it up to its right spot. Move it away. Okay, so this is its home of the orange blue piece, goes in the orange and blue edge piece here. So we're gonna aim for the left. This is to the left of this blue face. So I want you to pause the video and think, where are we gonna move this guy? Initially, to make that happen, make room for it, and then stick it in its proper position. So pause the video, ask yourself that, and I'll see you in a sec. Okay, so if you pause the video and you ask yourself, okay, I want to move this blue-orange piece to the left so that it goes right here in its home, what do? I move it away from its home, which is to the right. Right, so let me move this back. I'm aiming for the left, so I'm going to move it to the right, away from its home. So now we see that the orange piece on the top is exactly opposite of the orange face, and this is its home. So we just make room for it and stick it in its home. There we go. We have the orange and the blue edge in its home. Now all that's left to do is the green and red. And we're almost there. We have one more piece to do. We've done the first 2 layers. That'll be 2/3 of the Rubik's Cube. So I bet you're totally stoked. I am totally stoked. Excuse me. So we basically just need to do what we've done for the previous 3 edges. Line up the face. Look for its home. This is the green red edge. Its home is the green red face edge right here. So you can see we've lined it up, the red faces. Its home's to the right. Now, what do? Pause the video and ask yourself, what do? Okay, so pause it. Okay, hopefully you paused the video and figured it out. So, if you haven't, don't worry, it's not a big deal. You know, some of this takes time, so don't be hard on yourself, whatever. I shouldn't be that judgmental. So, anyhow, we're aiming for the right. We want its home to be here, right? We have the green and red edge, which we've had the face match up here. We want to stick it in between the green and red edges here, or faces here. That's the edge, that's its home right here. So it's the right is its home. We want to move it to the left, just like so. So now we can see that the green side is opposite of the top here. And then just make room for it, stick it in its spot. There you go, bam, in your home. We have the green and the red. Okay, so there's 2 sequences basically. You either go to the left or you go to the right. So if you go to the left, you start out moving the top to the right. You move the piece opposite of where you want to go, and you make room for it and just stick it in its home. Similarly, if you want to move it to the right, initially you line up the piece and move it to the left. So for me, it was helpful just to keep that in mind, because it's pretty easy to insert these side pieces in the wrong, or in the right spot, but in the wrong order. And what I mean by that is each of these side pieces could be lined up in the right position. For example, this is the orange and blue side position. The blue side could be here and the orange side could be here. For example, this piece could be rotated into an incorrect position. So it's really easy to do that if you don't have some kind of objective method to remind yourself how to stick it in there the right way. And that initial movement of sticking it into the exact opposite spot of where its home is has been really beneficial and helpful for me to not get it all mixed up or backwards. You might find a different way of doing that. Cool, and whatever works for you. Okay, so what have we done so far? We solved the white face. We solved the first layer. We've solved the second layer. Now all that's left to do is the yellow cross, which we'll do next, this yellow side. That'll be our next objective. So see you in the next video.